Hessair ductless mini split is one of the most efficient ways to heat and cool your home. They're the perfect choice for additions, garages, or rooms where ductwork is unavailable. Mini splits are energy efficient, quiet, and easy to install. The mini split is comprised of two units, the indoor air handler and the outdoor condenser. The components are connected by copper tubing, which allows the necessary refrigerant to circulate. A handheld remote gives you thermostatic control over the system. Before you begin installation, make sure you have all the parts you need according to the installation manual. Inspect the various components to ensure there are no defects before installation work begins. It's essential to carefully read the Hessair owner manual, paying particular attention to safety precautions and procedures before you start. Ensure that you have the right tools for the job. Standard tools needed include the following: an adjustable wrench, torque wrench, hex keys or Allen wrenches, drill and drill bits, a hole saw, utility knife, wire cutters and stripper, Phillips and flathead screwdrivers, a level, safety glasses, and work gloves. Your professional installer should bring the rest of the required tools, including manifold gauges, vacuum pump, flaring tool, and any other tools that might be necessary. To begin installation, choose a spot on the wall surface where you'd like the unit to be secured. The location should be free of obstructions, near the air inlet and outlet, and should be at least 6 feet from the floor. Refer to the owner manual for more tips on choosing a location. Remove the wall bracket from the back of the mini split indoor handler. Hold the bracket in place. Use a level to ensure it is horizontally level. Then mark the screw holes with a pencil. Drill the marked holes to create a pilot hole and use appropriate size self-tapping screws with anchors to affix the wall mounting frame. Now you will create a hole in the wall to allow refrigerant lines, control wires, and condensation drain tube to go outside. The hole is usually 2.5 to 3 inches. Using a hole saw bit, drill the hole, making sure to angle downward to the outside for proper condensate drainage. Prepare to install the control wire by removing the wire cover and wiring clip. Push the color-coded multi-conductor wire through the inlet hole on the back of the air handler and pull a few inches through the front. Now you can make the multi-conductor wire connections. After cutting the length and stripping the wire, make the connections using a screwdriver. Replace the wiring clip, wiring cover, and close the front cover. Now carefully unfold the refrigerant pipe, making sure not to crimp the copper tube in the process. Connect the flared copper ends of the line set to the pipe joint connected to the air handler, using the adjustable wrench to hold the piping joint and prevent twisting. Place the torque wrench on the union knot and tighten to the setting specified in the owner manual. Lift the unit into place and carefully pass the bundled pipes and wires through the wall opening. Place the air handler on the wall mount, making sure it is firmly secured and your refrigerant line, condensate tube, and electrical cables are completely through the wall. You're now ready to install the outdoor heat pump condenser. Choose the outdoor unit's location based on your home structure, local codes, and convenience of installation. You can place the unit on a pad, mount it on an exterior wall using brackets, or place it on a rooftop. We're using a pad, the simplest and easiest method. The outside unit should be securely mounted with bolts through the footholes before making any connections. With the condenser securely mounted, you can make your outside connections. Carefully bend the tube bundle to be flush with the wall, making sure not to crimp the copper or drain tubing. Next, remove the panel that covers the refrigerant valves and wiring connections. Remove the protective screw caps from the valves. Now you can connect the pipe joint of the outdoor unit to the copper line set. Start the union nut by hand, then use the torque wrench tightening to the specifications in your manual. A trained professional is recommended to complete the installation at this point. The refrigerant system must be completely sealed in order for the system to perform properly. Start with a pressure test to check for leaks. Then, using a soap bubble solution, spray down all of the flare joints and watch for bubbles to appear. If bubbles are present, tighten the union nut. Next, the technician will use a vacuum pump and gauges to remove all air and moisture prior to releasing refrigerant into the lines. After the vacuum is complete, close the manifold gauge valve. Use an adjustable wrench to remove the service valve caps and use an Allen wrench or hex key to fully open both service valves, releasing refrigerant into the system. Next, connect the multi-conductor wire that is run from the indoor air handler to the associated terminals on the outdoor unit. Double check the cooler coating to ensure the wires have been connected correctly. The condenser requires 220 volt power from a dedicated circuit on your breaker panel. Run through an exterior mounted manual disconnect box. A qualified technician should install the circuit breaker disconnect box and make a high voltage connection to the condenser. With the refrigerant released and all high and low voltage connections complete, it's time to power up the system and do the initial startup. Start the system with a remote and check for proper operation. Congratulations on completing your new installation.